Hi, I'm Dana, and this is not the first time that we're talking about how embarrassed I am to exist as a person. But when I've talked about it previously, I've felt like I'm pretty valid in it. You know, like I feel like a lot of the times when I've been embarrassed, it's like, well, I understand why. I understand why I feel that way. I have a disability that means that I miss a lot of social cues. I often have the wrong end of the stick. I will think that I'm on like the same page as everyone else, and it turns out I'm in a different fucking book. I reasonably often don't have a fucking clue what's going on, and I do and say the wrong thing quite a lot. And it's embarrassing. Like, you know, it's embarrassing and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Like, it's not. It doesn't feel good. But in the grand scheme of the world and all of the things that you can possibly be, I'd rather be embarrassing than a lot of other things, you know? And like I say, I also felt fairly like valid in the fact that I would reflect on the situations that I was feeling embarrassed after and be like, yeah, I get why I feel embarrassed. You know? Like I say, I quite often say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing. I'm not on the same page as everyone else. I get home from my little event that I've been at and I feel crippling embarrassment and like I should never ever leave the house again and like I just don't deserve to exist as a person because it is humiliating to just go out and exist in the world. You know, everything from the way that I look, the way that I dress, the way that I get really sweaty for no fucking reason, the way that I speak, the things that I say, like all of it embarrasses me. And for a long time I was like, yeah, it's because you're autistic, babe, like that's how it goes, it's fair enough, you're a bit of an embarrassing person who finds yourself in quite embarrassing situations and then you have to live with feeling embarrassed. That's life, that's how it goes, that's the way it works. But this video varies a little bit. And if anything, it feels a little bit like I'm going back to like my YouTube roots back in the day when I first started doing like videos about autism, and like all of them were just me being like, do other people go through this? Do other people experience this? Have you felt this way? Is this just normal for autistic people? And even if it isn't normal, what's going on? We're sort of returning to that a little bit because obviously I've like healed my nervous system a little bit. We've gotten to a point where I feel like I'm able to start trying to heal my nervous system and it's not like constantly screaming all the time because like you can't heal something that is just like popping off, you know? So I've, in a variety of ways, I've gotten to a much better place. I've done a whole bunch of like self-growth and unmasking and figuring out who I am as a person, the way that I want to behave. I've increased the amount of like social scripting that I do in preparation for things. I have found the ways that I like to say a lot of things. I've gotten really good with my scripts, I won't lie. Like I have a lot of scripts that I've gotten like real solid on and they feel so natural because like it is me like saying normal things and being my authentic self. I've just also decided how I'm going to say those things because otherwise I get crippling embarrassment over everything about myself. So I feel like I've given you enough context now. So whereas previously I'd be like, oh, I'm embarrassed because I did this and I did that and oh, what an embarrassing little person I am. I'm not surprised I feel this way. I'm now going out to events and having a lovely little time. I'm finding quite a lot of people that I think are in quite similar situations to me and that like are just quite similar people to me. And when I get home, I feel this like crippling embarrassment and crippling like just humiliation over the way that I exist as a person and everything about myself. And my little brain does its little like, we're going to go back and we're going to look at all the things that you could be embarrassed about and we're going to figure out how to never do those things again, which is what my brain's always done. And in a lot of ways, it's very fucking useful, to be honest with you. I've had a lot of people be all like, oh, you shouldn't do that, it's ruminating, it's this, it's that, it's overthinking it. It's also how I've managed to increase my social skills. Like you've got to reflect on the past and see what you did wrong and be able to make the decisions of how you're going to go about things in future. I don't think I necessarily needed to feel as bad about myself as I did while doing it. I don't necessarily think I needed to spend as much time doing it as I did in a lot of situations. I don't think it was a negative for me. I think it actually has been like one of the building blocks of me being able to do better at being a person. But in later times, in recent eras, when I do that, I don't come up with anything. You know, like that's why I'm saying like I feel like I've really found like my people kind of thing, because I look back on the situation and I'm like, yeah, if I said something that was weird, people like laughed or it like started a conversation or whatever else, like people are reacting to me in like a nice way where they just seem to like having me as a friend, you know, which is also fucking bizarre and not something I've overly experienced before. But I'm looking back and like I feel embarrassed. I feel like humiliated to be me as a person, And when I'm looking back for the reasons why, so I can see what to improve on, like, I don't want to be like, I'm perfect now, I've fucking nailed it, I don't need to improve anything ever again. But like, I'm communicating with people, I'm making little jokes, I'm out having a nice time, you know, it's not awkward, I'm having a nice time. I'm reflecting on my little memories to find the things that I'm embarrassed about, and I'm just like, oh, that was a good time, wasn't it? And rather than feel happy, glad, joyful, like any of the like many positive emotions that you'd expect to arrive after having a good time, I feel embarrassed. Like, I feel like my face is hot, and I don't ever want to go outside again. I don't want anyone to look at me, I don't want anyone to think about me. I'm embarrassed. Like, that is the only, you know, like, I've sat and tried really hard to like decipher the feeling and see if I'm actually feeling something else that would make more sense. I feel embarrassed. I feel deeply embarrassed, and I have no reason for it. I don't know why. I don't need to. And I say I don't know why, but obviously we are now going to unpack it, because I think some of it, it's just that that's what I've been trained to feel. You know, whether it was my own actual embarrassing way of being as like someone in my teens and early 20s, not knowing I was autistic and all of that kind of thing. Like, yeah, there were a bunch of times that I was a very embarrassing person. I also am very clumsy, and it is just embarrassing to fall over in front of loads of people or drop things in front of loads of people and things like that. Like, I absolutely have had a variety of times where it has been extremely valid for me to feel really embarrassed after I get home from doing something. And I don't know if maybe I just experience that so often and to such a degree that my nervous system, my internal like body, whatever, my subconscious, whatever the fuck it is that's reacting with it, has gone, okay, you go out, you do a social thing, you speak to people, you exist as a person, and then you come home and you feel embarrassed. Like, that's what we've always done. Why would we change it now? Duh. And especially having been around so many people who were like essentially embarrassed to be around me. Like, especially my ex-girlfriend, I found a load of fucking journals from, I say journals, it was like one and a bit, from that I was keeping during the time that I was with her. And like, she didn't like me. I don't know why she dated me for like a year and a half, because she very obviously, like, looking back and remembering things and just like the way she acted towards me and the things that she said to me sometimes, all of that, like, this woman did not like me. I do not know why she dated me. And it was one of those where she wasn't going to look at me and outright be like, you're an embarrassing person to be around, but she let me know that lots of things that I did are cringy, and she tried very hard to like fix me essentially. And I'm thinking I might make an entire video just about that, because like I've been getting compliments on my hair from you guys recently, and I deeply fucking appreciate it, because I've only very recently realised that I didn't have to just for the rest of my life keep doing my hair in the way that my ex told me that I should, so that I'd be like prettier and more whatever the fuck she was actually looking for. That was absolutely not me. I was told, this is what you do so you can try and look better, Dana, because your hair doesn't look good. So I started doing that, and I think it looks better now. I think it looked better before. I don't like the way that it's looked for the last like 3 years. And it's because I was doing my hair in the way that my ex told me that I should, because she didn't fucking like anything about me. And that's embarrassing. The fact that I just kept doing my hair like that without a thought. But also, I don't really get like the girly appearance stuff. I don't really understand it. So when I've got some woman that I think is like one of the most beautiful, stunning, fucking gorgeous women that I've ever seen in my life telling me this is what you do to your hair, I'm just gonna fucking do it, aren't I? Like, yeah, fair dues, babes. But I had that from like a variety of people across my life, where like they'd tell me that they loved me. I don't think for a moment that they actually liked me, and I think they were often quite embarrassed to be with me, to be around me, embarrassed by like me existing as a person. And I think that like it definitely rubbed off on me a bit. Like, there were a variety of times, especially with some of like my best friends in the past, where we'd get home from events, I'd be like, okay, are we doing the rundown? And they'd tell me everything I'd done wrong that night, all the ways that I'd stood funny and danced funny and sounded weird and said weird things. And they like, I genuinely appreciated it. I genuinely saw that as like helping me to do better in future, when the reality was that like a lot of the time I'd had a fairly decent time. And you know, like, I was like 21, 22, 23 getting drunk and whatever, so I knew some moments were a bit cringy and a bit embarrassing and, you know, not ideal. But the fact that people were like, people that claimed to love me, people that said that I could trust them, were like keeping their little mental notes of like all the things I did across the night that they found a bit weird and awkward, and that they thought I should like feel embarrassed and cringe about and not do in future. And it's It's uncomfortable. It's not very nice. I didn't enjoy it. I wouldn't associate with people that did that again now. If someone tried that with me now, I'd be like, whoa, Nelly, we're not doing that, you know? But at the time, I did very genuinely appreciate it and felt like it was really helping me to be able to, like, do better. But looking at it now with hindsight, I think I might have actually just been, like, really niggling into my brain that, like, I'm the most humiliating, embarrassing person on the whole entire planet. Everything I do and everything that I think and everything about me is just so cringe and humiliating and embarrassing that I, like, should not be allowed out in public. And I need someone that's going to sit there and watch the ways that I behave and the things that I do so they can give me the full rundown of everything that's wrong with me afterwards. And one of the really frustrating parts of it is that it's a massive part of why it takes me so long to reply to people's messages and to message other people. I have friends now, which is fucking incredible, don't get me wrong, like, not to brag, but I have friends now that I would like to, like, invite round for dinner, invite to go out and do things with, etc, etc, and some of them I have been managing it, and I have been, like, going out and doing things with people, and it's been lovely, but there's other people I want to do that stuff with that I just haven't messaged, and, like, obviously, like, I use anxiety as a cover-all for a lot of things, and I'm not sure if that's really the healthiest thing to be doing or not, but it's because at least when I go out and I have, like, an in-person social interaction, we have that interaction and it's done. You know, however embarrassing, however awkward, however humiliating, however whatever it is, it's done after that, and I go home and it's over, and I might relive it a few thousand times. Are you going? Do you not want to be with me? Okay. You know, I might replay it a few thousand times in my brain, but I can't actually look at it again. If anyone ever sent me CCTV of me out and about, I would fucking kill myself. No, it has to be over. I think that's part, I have a massive fucking fear of someone filming me in public when I'm, like, at gigs and things and putting it onto, like, fucking TikTok and people commenting about me. That's one of my genuine biggest fears. Don't perceive me. I hate it. You know, like, when you've done it in person, it's done and it's over and it's finished. Whereas when I'm typing a message, every fucking word that I write is embarrassing. They're not gonna know what I mean. I'm not saying what I fucking mean. I don't know how to write a message. I don't know how they're going to respond. I don't know what a lot of the times when people message me, even though they're people that I'm, like, actively trying to make friends with, there's a massive part of me that's like, well, what do they want? And it's not in the way of, like, everybody wants something from me, fuck these people, man. It's in the way of, like, do you want, like, a quick little back and forth here where, like, neither of us is saying too much and it's, like, not that big a deal? Do you want to be friends? Do you want this to, like, build into more conversation? Do you want to have an actual conversation here, or is it meant to be a ha-ha lol yeah moment? Like, what do you want? Because I'm happy to give it to you. I just don't know what the point, like, of this message is in regards to that. You know, like, I'm not, like, you can send me a meme, you can send me something funny, like, I'm not like, what's the point? I appreciate it, but also I don't understand what you want in return from me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I'm meant to say, and it's very, very scary. And then when I'm trying to reply, when I'm trying to, like, form the message to invite someone to something, every word that I type feels like the wrong thing, and it feels just so embarrassing to be messaging someone, to be putting myself out there. And fair enough if I'm the one, like, reaching out, but, like, I have a few people that I'm organising one-on-one plans with because they're my friends, and it would be nice to see my friends and do things with my friends. And I'm leaving, like, days between responding to fucking messages because I'm embarrassed. And it's not, like I said, that's why I say, like, in person, it's, at least it's done. Whereas when it's the message, I've had to sit there and write it and reread it and try to make sure it's something that's actually, like, fucking legible and coherent and that they all understand and be able to respond to. And then I've got to send it, and it just sits there being a humiliating thing on my screen. And like I say, like, I could not tell you why I'm so fucking embarrassed about it, because I'm messaging people that I like, and as far as I'm fucking aware, like me in return, and it should just be a nice time of being in the initial stages of friendship and getting to invite people to go out to things with me and do things with people. Like, it should just be nice, and it is really nice, don't get me wrong, but there is this added layer of just, I feel so embarrassed to exist as an autistic person a lot of the time. And I don't feel like I have particular reason to now. You know, like, the vast majority of the people I'm meeting are also neurodivergent, and they're not doing those little, like, looks towards each other or those little faces that people do where they're like, oh, this bitch. Like, none of that's happening. I have no reason to feel so embarrassed of existing as a person, and yet I fucking do. I really do. And it's like I said at the start, like, it's something I've mostly dealt with by being like, well, why wouldn't I? I'm quite an embarrassing person, that's just how things are and it's all fine. It bothers me that I'm feeling a negative emotion that I don't feel like I've like earned or deserved, you know? Like I'm not doing like like really embarrassing things. I like, don't get me wrong, my posture's fucked. I do weird voices quite often. I don't really know why. It's just sort of part of my personality and the way that I present myself to people. Like, I'm not saying that like I'm the least like most normal, perfect, like you want to be me kind of person. But I don't. Like, since moving, I've not gone to a social event where I've been weird enough that I deserve to come home and sit here in the dark, in silence, or with a video and that I'm not listening to in the slightest, because I just feel so humiliated to exist in myself as a person. Like, I'm definitely absolutely not being awkward enough, or like, just, I don't think anyone fucking deserves that anyway, quite frankly, if it's just that you're being a bit awkward and weird. Obviously, if you're horrible to people, then yeah, I hope you do go home and reflect on that. But like, I just don't feel like I have any reason to be feeling like this anymore, and I still very deeply do. I don't like it. So yeah, that's the video. Like I said, we are going back to my roots a little bit here, because as much as I've like tried to validate myself for feeling this way and everything, are other people feeling this way? Because like I deeply felt very different about it when it felt like it was valid for me to feel like the embarrassment because I've been an embarrassing person. I don't feel like I should need to feel it anymore when I'm making friends with people that don't seem to like think that I'm humiliating to fucking be around, and who are nice to me and that I enjoy being around, and I'm having actively nice times. And like I do feel a level of like pride in myself having like found these and formed these connections and to keep putting myself out there for things and everything. But there's also like, I feel like that should be like 90% of how I feel, you know? Like, I'm doing a fucking good job and I'm having really nice times with really cool people. I should have like 90% good feelings about that. And 90% of my feelings are just fucking embarrassment and like feeling awful about like myself. And I can't even like come up with the reason I feel bad, you know? Like, it's just a bit shitty and fucking bizarre, and I can't really figure it out. So I'd really like to know if other people have felt like this, and if you figured it out, or what you think about it, or just like, any sort of fucking opinion would be appreciated, because a lot of things that come up in my life, I just try and find a way to like get around, to accommodate to deal with, and I do pretty well a lot of the time, even if it is just using the logic of like, it's okay to feel embarrassed when you're embarrassed. I haven't done anything embarrassing, I don't need to feel like that. So yeah, that's the video. Please comment and let me know if you feel the same, if you feel anything similar, if it's something you've gotten over. Would deeply appreciate. And as always, I would also deeply appreciate if you could go and look at the links in my bio. As always, the first one is for Seth, so that them and their partner Shan can get an adapted van, so that Shan is able to actually go to medical appointments, emergency hospital appointments, go out and do fun things that everyone deserves to get to do without being repeatedly re-injured and having their chronic illnesses made much worse, and just generally having it being a deeply uncomfortable and prolonged and awful experience for the both of them. I think that every disabled person deserves to have the accommodations in place that they need, and if they're not able to get that through the government and through like proper sources that should be available to them and often aren't, it has to become a community thing. So we are getting pretty close to them actually having a van. I don't really understand all of like the APR and loan and whatever else goes into this kind of thing, but Steph's been keeping me updated and we're getting really close. So if we could do a last little push and just try and get them as much as they can to go towards the down payment. I don't understand it, but if you can help them, if you can donate a little bit, if you could check out the page, if you could have a little read of their story. I know that people reading it is actually like meant a lot to Steph, like sorry to out you here, Steph, but obviously a lot of people don't know what it's like to live with to live as a disabled person, to live alongside disabled people. They don't know all of what goes into it and how very frightening it can be. And I think especially a lot of us that are able-bodied have the assumption that disabled people who physically aren't able to do things are having things provided to them to be able to, because that would make sense, wouldn't it? But that's often not the case, and it's a bit terrifying. So even just having a read would really mean a lot to me and Seth and Shan and probably a lot of other disabled people in the world. I just think it's a really great thing to do, and it's free. You can have a read for free. You don't have to pay them to read it. So I'd really appreciate if you did that. If you were then able to share it, that would be really cool. And obviously, like I say, if we could do one last little push for donations, that'd be really sick. But I know what kind of world we're all living in and the kinds of positions most of us are in. I really don't want to put any pressure or make anyone feel bad. But that being said, I did then add a second GoFundMe before finishing this one, because I also have one of my local friends, Alec, who's got a GoFundMe up so that he can get top surgery. I don't think, it's like, I just don't think I should have to go into detail on how difficult it is for trans people to access gender affirming care in general in the UK. I think that especially other countries love to think that we're like really super lucky because we have the NHS, and in a lot of ways we really very deeply are, you know. Like, I love that my family didn't have to go into debt when my mum got cancer. Like, it definitely does help in a lot of ways, but there are a lot of people that it doesn't help, and a lot of people who get left behind, and it's not as incredible as you would expect if you're someone who has to pay for your healthcare, you know. Like, at least we get it for free. It'd be nice if it was actually suitable and did the things we needed it to. And it's all, frankly, a bit of a shit show. So I would really love it if we can help Alec get his top surgery. I always feel like I should tell you, like, exactly, like, what he wants to do and where he wants to go and blah, blah, blah. It's all in his GoFundMe. You can go read it for yourself from the horse's mouth. You don't have to hear it from me, because I don't remember, okay? I don't remember. I'm just like, yeah, I think trans people that want top surgery should be able to get top surgery. I'll do what I can to help them get that. I don't really care about, like, the logistics and details. I won't lie to you. If you do, you can go and have a read. He's told you. He's put it all in there. You can have a look. Again, like, having a little read of it, having a share of it would I would really deeply appreciate it. It's been so fucking incredible to move here and immediately find, like, a local queer community, and being able to give back to one of them a little bit would just really, I would really love it. It would make me really happy. I would really love to see him, like, be his full happy self. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant person. I'm really enjoying getting to know him, and I would love to see him be able to, like, get the things that he fucking wants and needs. We're really close to getting it for Shan, and I think this is probably going to end up being a regular feature. I think, like, as people's GoFundMes are funded, I will just probably find someone else to do it for. So if you've got a GoFundMe, maybe hit me up. It's very, very difficult to get any sort of, like, notice and attention on them. And then we get these fucking TikTokers that, like, get loads of money on them because they, like, want to stay in New York or move to England or whatever, and there's people that are, like, really trying to improve their lives in much smaller ways that could do with the help, and I really would like to be able to put a bit of a spotlight on them. I'm going to shut the fuck up now. If you can visit either link, if you can share them at all, if you can donate to either of them, I would deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate it. I am in the process of making some things that I am intending to figure out some sort of, like, raffle fundraiser something with, to try and get some funds towards it that I've, like, actually helped with, and not just come on camera and be like, please, can you guys like give my friend some money, please? Like, I do want to, like, actually do something for it. So keep an eye out for that if you give a fuck. Whoever you are, wherever you are, if you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I'll see you again in a couple of days.